Hello everyone, welcome to Tutorials by Dacade. My name is Dacade, and in this video we are going to work on the second part of branching dialogue. So we're actually going to have some choices pop up on the screen and all that fun stuff. But before we get into it, as always, if you like these videos, make sure you give this one a big old thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, as I have videos like this coming out all the time, and I don't want you to miss anything. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So in order to get this set up, we are going to have to change the UI around a little bit. This is going to be fairly easy. We're going to go to our canvas. We're going to go to our text bubble. We'll turn it on temporarily. Double click on your canvas so you see the whole thing. And then all we got to do is just go to text bubble, hit Control and D to duplicate it. We are going to rename that. Maybe if it'll let me. There we go. Just branching dialogue bubble. There we go. And then inside we'll just rename that to branching dialogue text. How if I spelled dialogue right? Either way, you know what it is, so there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the new duplicate where it's at, and we're just going to move the text bubble up. You can either click on this guy here and then drag it up, or you could be more precise with it and go to about there. So 64 for Y. I also believe that's all we need to do. Oh, no, it is not. Sorry. In branching dialogue, what we're going to do is we're going to take the branching dialogue text, and we're actually going to rename that option 1. We are going to duplicate that, rename that option 2, and duplicate that, and option 3. And again, you can manually move these into position, or you could do what I did, which, excuse me, apparently I'm losing my voice. I changed it to 113, changed the height to 113 as well. Option 2 should be at 0, but change the height again to 113. And then option 3, I believe, is negative. Yeah, negative 113. And then change the height to 113. Okay. There we go. And then just to make sorry, I don't know what's going on there. But just to make things a little bit easier, we're going to change the text to option 1. Option 2. And option 3. And we're going to obviously change that with code. So now I believe that is all we need to do in our sample scene. So let's just save that. So with that out of the way, we're going to open up Unity, not Unity, Visual Studio. And with Visual Studio open, we are first going to go to our base NPC. There are a couple things that we need to add in here. So we need to go to right here actually. So underneath all of this, we're going to add a couple things. We're going to put the tooltip in here, and we're going to put the branching dialog panel. We are going to serialize, not selection base, serialize that field, and we're going to do a protected image branching panel. And then we just need the option text for all that stuff. So what we need is another tooltip. And then option 1 for the branching dialog. We're going to serialize that field. And then we're going to do a protected TMP text option 1 text. And then normally I don't like to copy and paste, but just to save time, we're going to copy, we're going to paste, and we're just going to change that to option 2 and option 2. And then we're going to do the same thing. Just paste it in there, and option 3 and option 3. All right. Should be all we need to do for now. Yeah, that's all we need to do for now. So let me just double check my notes to see if there's anything else we need to do in base, which I don't think there is. There shouldn't be anything else we need to do in the base. Yep. All right, so now we're going to go over to, we're going to save this first, and now we're going to go over to the branching dialog. Branching dialog, we're going to pretty much have to redo. Some of the stuff can stay, but some of it's going to have to be redone. So, for instance, these can stay, but we do need to add a private bool waiting for player choice, and we're going to default that to false. We do need to update the, or override, I should say, the update. For now, we're just going to keep base update. We'll add what we need to add here in a minute. For the trigger branching dialog, we're going to get rid of everything. Actually, we're going to keep, yeah, we're going to get rid of everything. And a lot of it's going to actually be the same. So current node equals dialog data dot starting node is interacting is going to be true, and we are going to put display node current node. Now that's in red right now, but we are going to fix that because we are going to get rid of show dialog here because we're going to do all of that in a display. So we're going to do a private void display node, and then we're going to ask for a dialog node called node. And in here, we're going to put current node equals node, text bubble dot game object dot set active to true, bubble text dot game object dot set active to true, and then bubble text dot text equals node dot dialog text. Then the branching panel dot game object dot set active initially to false because we're going to put a little bit of a delay, and you'll see that here in a minute. And then if node dot options not equals null and not pound signs, not money sign. The way I have it set up, it's hard for me to see my keyboard. There we go. Node dot options dot count greater than 0. So all we're doing there is checking to see if there is options for the player to select and if the options count is more than 0. Then if so, we're going to start a coroutine. Show options after delay. And of course, that's going to give you an error because we haven't created that yet, but we'll be doing that here in just one moment. But we do need to do a couple other things first. So we're going to do a private void show options. And in here, we're going to do a few things. We're going to first do an if statement. If current node dot options equals null, or current node dot options dot count equals 0. So all we're really doing here is just checking to see if this is the end of the conversation. In which case we're going to end interaction and then return. By the way, if you've never seen this before, those two little lines right there, that means or. So if any one of these two are true, then we're going to end the interaction. Otherwise, we're going to put the branching panel dot game object dot set active, not send message, set active to true. We're going to do option 1 text dot game object dot set active, and we're going to do a little bit of a thing here to check to see if there's options. So the first option is always going to be there, but we're still going to do this way anyway. We're going to do current node dot options dot count greater than 0. And the reason why we're doing it this way, and we're essentially going to repeat this for the other two, is so that way you can only have one option, or you can have 2 options, or you can have 3, and honestly, if you wanted to, you can have as many options as you want, in which case there might be a different way to do this, but for just only having 3 options at max, this is a pretty easy way to do this. But we're going to do what you see on the screen here. So essentially, option 1 is going to show up if there's options. Option 2 is going to show up if there's more than one option. And option 3 is going to show up if there's more than 2 options. And again, there's different ways that you can do this if you want to have, say, 5 options or up to 10 options or whatever. But for only having 3 options, it's not worth all that extra time and effort just for 3 options. So maybe if you want to have more than 3 options, hit me up in like Discord, or leave a comment on this video and we can go over how to do that. But again, for only having a max of 3 options, this is one of the best ways to do it, or easiest anyway. But anyway, we need to do a couple other things here. We need to do if current node dot options dot count dot count is greater than 0. Then we want the option 1 text dot text to equal the current node dot options option 0, and then option text. And again, I don't like to necessarily copy and paste, but to make things go a little bit quicker, we are going to copy that. We are going to paste that. We are going to change this to option 2 and then option 1. And then we're going to do that one more time. Oh, we're going to change that to 1 and change that to 2. And then change option 3 text, option 2. Now this might be a little bit confusing, but remember, anytime you have like a list or anything like that, it always starts at 0 and not 1. So that's your first option, second option, and third option. So once we have those done, we are going to put waiting for player choice equals true. So that's just a bool to trigger that nothing else happens until the player makes a choice. So now we have to allow the player to make a choice. So private void select option, and we're going to ask for an int and call it an index. So in here we're going to do if current node dot options equals null, or if index equals or is greater than or equal to current node dot options dot count. So what we're doing here is checking to see if there are any options, or checking to see if the option that was selected is out of range. If it is, we're not going to do anything, so we're just going to return. And down here is where the magic is going to happen. We're going to do dialog option. We're going to call that selected option, and we're going to make it equal to current node dot options and then index. Then we're going to do if selected option dot next node is not null, meaning there is a next node. We are then going to display node selected option dot next node. Else, in other words, there's nothing else, no more branch, it's the end of the branch. We're going to do the branching panel dot game object dot set active to false. We're going to do text bubble dot game object dot set active also to false, and then we're going to end the interaction. So now we have to do another function here, so private void wait for choice. So if not is interacting or not waiting for player choice, then we're just going to return. Otherwise, if input dot get button down option 1 and current node dot options dot count is greater than 0. So we have to go into Unity and actually make these buttons here, which I forgot to do, but that's all right. We could do that here in a minute. But if option 1 is selected and there is an actual option 1, which there should always be at least one option, then we're going to handle player selection and change that to 0. And that's going to give us an error because we haven't created that yet. We will here shortly. Else if, and then again, I don't like to copy and paste, but for saving time, we're just going to copy all of that, put that in there, change option 1 to option 2, and change the count to 1. Then we're going to handle player selection 1. And then you know what, we can just copy this whole thing. And then just change that to 3, change that to 2, and change that to 2. Again, normally it's not a good idea to copy and paste, but for the sake of saving some time in this video, that's why I did that. But that's all we need to do there. And of course, now we need to make the handle player selection. We're going to ask for an int, call it index. And all those errors should go away. So in here, after the player made a selection, we are going to change waiting for player choice to false. We're going to change the dialog, not node, dialog option to selected option, and that's going to be current node dot options and then the index. And then if selected option dot next node not equal null, then we are going to display node selected option next node. That is not display node. I feel like we've already done this. We did. Why did I have this in here twice then? I don't believe we're using select option at all. Let me just check my notes. I don't think we use select option at all. So let's just finish this. We'll literally just copy this. Again, don't like to do it, but to save time. Oh, that. There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure why I did that twice, but nonetheless, that's in there. While we're here in end interaction, we do need to change something here. We do need to make sure that wait for player choice is set to false, just in case it didn't do that. And now we need to do one IEnumerator. So private IEnumerator show options after delay. And then in here, we're going to yield, return new, wait for seconds. For now, we're just, you know what, we'll just do wait time, and we'll go and add that here in a minute. And then we'll do show options. So select option, we don't use, let's just comment that out. If you've never commented out multiple lines of text, you can do a backslash and then an asterisk. And then at the end of that line, which should be right here, you just do the opposite. We'll do that. And then up here, we do need to have a tooltip, the wait time for the delay. Then we'll serialize that field. Then we'll do a private float wait time, and we'll just default that to 0.5f, but we'll be able to change that if we want to. Save it, double check for errors. I don't think we have any. All right, so let's head back over to Unity now, once Unity allows me to. There we go. All right. So now that we're in Unity, first let's go up to our edit and go to project settings. Go to the input manager, add 3 more inputs, so we have 33. Just come down to these last 3 here. Just change this to option 1. Of course, let me double check to make sure. Did I do a capital O or did I do a capital O? All right. So as the theme continues, make sure that everything matches as far as all your spelling, capitalization, and all that fun jazz. So option 1. Sorry, I'm just double checking my other one here to make sure I'm doing this right. I am. All right. So the positive button, we will make 1. There shouldn't be a negative button, so we'll get rid of that. And everything else can stay the same. And then, of course, we just have to repeat the process. So option 2, make that 2, get rid of the negative button. And then option 3, make that 3 and get rid of the, make the positive 3 and get rid of the negative. There we go. So that should take care of that. Now what we got to do is we got to go to our test NPC. And we got to add that branching dialogue. Option 1 text, option 2 text, option 3 text. Now that those are done, we can go to our text bubble, deactivate that, branching dialogue, deactivate that. Let us go to our nodes and make sure that we have these all linked up. So starting node, yep, there we go. So let's add some options to high. Then let's just put good. Let's just put eh. And then let's just put 3 dots. Let's give 3 options to go away. I'm sorry. Okay, bye. And 3 dots. And then for the 3 dots, we'll just put okay, no, and then 3 dots. And of course, you can expand this if you want, but just for the sake of testing, we're just going to do that. We're going to go to our player. We're actually just going to zoom out, and again, to save time, we'll just drag our player right here. Then we'll hit play to test. I just realized that might have broken the game because the camera, it shot us over there anyway. All right. So let's just hit E. Hello. There's our options. So you hit 1, 2, or 3. We'll just hit 1. Why is that not working? So now let's see what I broke. Remember when I said update? We had to put something there, but we had to create it first. Yeah, I forgot to put that in there. So wait for choice. And now that that's in there, we're good to go. So now we save that. Now let's go back and try that. Oh. Make sure these are key or mouse buttons. There's my problem right there. Or at least I hope that's my problem. Let's try, well, let's change these to what? To x-axis. Just because that's what's on my test. All right. See how something small could be so aggravating? I should just cut out this forest here. Our little buddy popped in for a second up there. All right, now let's see. Boom, hello, hi, yep, there it is. How are you today? And then that ends the conversation. And again, you can have the conversation go further. We'll go in here again. Hello, go away. There we go. So that's it for now, because I am way over the time that I wanted to be. I'm going to try to edit some things out to bring the time down. But yeah, we have working branching dialogue. So I don't know if I'm going to continue on branching dialogue. Oh, I'm going to continue branching dialogue. I just don't know if the next video is going to continue it or if I'm going to go back to it later. But nonetheless, we need to add some UI to actually be able to use your mouse to select or some sort of cursor to select instead of just using numbers on a keyboard. We can also add like consequences for your selections. So like good consequences, bad consequences, or neutral. There's a bunch of stuff you can do with branching dialogue, but so far we have the base of it down. Sorry that this video went a little bit further and a little bit longer than I wanted it to. Ran into some issues. Like I said, I'm going to try to edit those out. Can't guarantee anything. And then, yeah, that's it for this video. So if you liked it, make sure you give it the big old thumbs up. Don't forget to English. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as I have videos like this coming out all the time. And as always, thank you. Have a good one. And I'll see you in the next one.